After years of marriage, I was told it was my turn to care for my husband's elderly parents full-time. When I refused, his family screamed, "You took vows. This is your duty." That night, I packed my bags. The next morning, they found a letter on the table and realized they'd made a huge mistake. Mark and I had been together for nearly 2 decades. No kids, by choice. We both had full-time jobs. He was an accountant. I was a project manager. We lived in the suburbs of Chicago in a decent house, both contributing financially, both working long hours. His parents, Margaret and Bill, were a nightmare. Margaret had never hidden the fact that she didn't like me. At our wedding, she made snide comments about my dress, how I wasn't the kind of woman she'd imagined for her son. When I hosted dinners, she'd critique my cooking. When I spoke, she'd act like I wasn't even in the room. Bill wasn't much better. He wasn't cruel, but he believed that women were there to serve. He never lifted a finger, never said, "Thank you," never even made eye contact unless he needed something. Despite all this, I tried. I showed up for holidays. I played nice. I put up with their passive-aggressive nonsense because I loved Mark, and I thought that's what marriage meant. Then, a few months ago, Margaret had a stroke. It wasn't major, but it was enough to leave her weaker, struggling with basic tasks. Bill, already in his late 70s, wasn't capable of taking care of her. They needed help. And, apparently, I was elected for the job. One evening, Mark sat me down like he was about to break devastating news. "They can't live on their own anymore," he said. I nodded, expecting him to talk about hiring a nurse, looking into assisted living, maybe discussing options. Instead, he said, "You should move in with them." I actually laughed. "Move in? You mean visit them more?" "No, I mean live with them full-time. Take care of them." I stared at him, waiting for him to realize how insane that sounded. "You want me to quit my job and become their full-time caregiver? They need help, Claire. So hire help. They don't trust strangers." "Then you do it." He scoffed. "I work full-time." "So do I. That's different." "Oh, that's different." Because, of course, my career, something I worked my ass off for, was less important than his. My time, my energy, my life? Disposable. I told him no. He got quiet, then said we'd talk about it later. The next day, his entire family showed up at my house. His mother, his father, his sister, his aunt, and even his cousin who never bothered speaking to me before. They all crammed into my living room like an intervention. Margaret, pale and weak from the stroke, sat in the recliner looking at me like I owed her something. His sister, the spokesperson of the group, said, "You married into this family. This is your duty." I laughed. "My duty?" Margaret nodded. "I took care of my in-laws when they got old. Now it's your turn." "I work full-time," I said. "You can quit," Mark's aunt chimed in. "And live off what?" Mark finally spoke. "I'll take care of you, babe." Right. The same man who complained when I bought groceries that weren't on sale. The same man who panicked every time an unexpected bill came up. His father sighed. "Women today don't have the same values." His mother sniffled. "This is why marriages fall apart these days." Mark's sister crossed her arms. "You took vows, Claire. In sickness and in health. That was about my husband. Not his entire family." And then, the real reason came out. Mark's sister didn't want to do it. She had kids. A life. She wasn't going to let her life be ruined. But mine? Mine was fair game. I stood up. "I'm not doing this." Margaret gasped like I had just slapped her. Mark stood, voice hard. "Claire, this isn't optional." I felt something snap in me. I looked at my husband, this man I had loved for nearly 2 decades, and realized something awful. I didn't love him anymore. Because how could you love someone who saw you as a tool? I didn't yell. I didn't fight. I just packed. While Mark was sleeping, I took everything I cared about, my laptop, my personal documents, clothes, sentimental things. I left my wedding ring on the dresser. Then, I grabbed a pen and paper and wrote a letter. A letter that would change everything. "Dear Mark, for 18 years, I have been your wife. I have loved you. I have supported you. I have sacrificed for you. I have cooked. I have cleaned. I have played the perfect wife while your family treated me like I was nothing. I have been patient. I have been kind. I have given everything I had. And now, when I have nothing left to give, you expect more. I will not be your parents' caregiver. I will not be your servant. I was your partner, Mark. But you never saw me that way. By the time you read this, I'll be gone. And you will realize that the person who took care of everything was me. Sincerely, Claire." I left in the middle of the night. No screaming, no fight, just quiet, cold resolve. I drove to a hotel across town and checked in with a bag full of my essentials and a heart that felt oddly light. For the first time in years, I felt free. But I knew it wasn't over. I turned off my phone before I went to sleep. When I turned it back on the next morning, the notifications flooded in. 32 missed calls from Mark. Voicemails from his mother, his sister, his aunt. A long, furious text from Mark that started with WTF Claire? I ignored it all. Instead, I forwarded my work email to my personal account, contacted a divorce attorney, and called my landlord. I had already put a deposit down on an apartment weeks ago. Maybe I hadn't fully realized I'd been preparing to leave, but looking back, the signs were all there. Still, I had no idea what kind of storm was about to hit. By the afternoon, I got the first real sign of how bad this was going to be. A knock at my hotel door. For a split second, my stomach dropped. Had Mark found me? I peeked through the peephole. It was my boss. What the hell? I opened the door. My boss, Rachel, stood there looking awkward as hell. Claire, she started. This is weird, but I just got a call from Mark. I felt my entire body go cold. What did he say? I asked, voice steady. Rachel sighed. He told me you had a mental breakdown and quit your job. He wanted to know if I could send your work laptop home with him. Oh, he wanted to play dirty. I exhaled slowly. I did not quit my job. And I'm not mentally unstable. I figured, Rachel said, nodding. But I needed to hear from you. I clenched my jaw. That bastard. Rachel gave me a sympathetic look. I don't know what's going on, but maybe take a few personal days? I'll block your access for now, just so he doesn't try anything. I nodded. Thank you. Rachel hesitated, then said, Claire, if you need help. I have a good lawyer. I nearly laughed. Already called one. Rachel smiled. Good. Because I think he's about to make your life hell. Rachel was right. By the end of the week, Mark and his entire family had gone on a full-blown smear campaign. On social media, they posted about how I was a cold-hearted woman who abandoned my husband's sick parents in their time of need. To my friends, he told them I was unstable, that I was having an affair, that I had lost my mind and ran away. To my job, he tried, again, to tell them I had quit. My lawyer, Sarah, was fantastic. She advised me to stay quiet publicly, gather evidence, and document everything. The real kicker? A few days after I left, Mark froze our joint account. Like I was some helpless housewife with no financial independence. Big mistake. I had my own accounts, my own savings. I had planned for this. But Mark? He didn't know that. So when I didn't come crawling back, he escalated. 1 week after I left, Mark found me. I had just left a meeting with Sarah when I saw him standing near my car in the parking lot. Arms crossed, face tight with anger. I considered turning around, walking back into the office. But no, I wasn't afraid of him. I walked straight to my car, keys in hand. You really think you can just walk away? Mark asked, voice low. I met his eyes. Yes. His jaw clenched. You're making a mistake. I shrugged. You made it first. His lips curled. You really think you can handle life without me? I laughed. Right in his face. You mean without the man who made me cook, clean, and tolerate his miserable family while he did nothing? Yeah. I think I'll be fine. His nostrils flared. You're going to regret this. That's when I saw it, panic. He was losing control. I smirked. I doubt it. Then, I got in my car and drove away. And Mark? He wasn't done yet. I should have known he wouldn't let it go. Mark wasn't the kind of man who handled losing well. For 18 years, he had been the one in control. He called the shots, made the decisions, and expected me to fall in line. But now, I wasn't falling in line. I was walking the hell away. And he hated it. A few days after our parking lot confrontation, I got an email from my bank. Alert, an attempt was made to access your personal savings account from an unrecognized device. My heart nearly stopped. I checked my account immediately. Everything was still there, but barely. Someone had tried to withdraw almost everything. I knew exactly who it was. Mark still had my old passwords. I got on the phone with my bank immediately. They confirmed the attempted transaction had been flagged as suspicious. When I asked where it was coming from, the rep said, looks like the login was from your home address. My stomach dropped. My home address. The home I left behind. The home Mark was still living in. Oh, he was bold. I locked everything down, changed every password, and froze my accounts just in case. Then I called my lawyer, Sarah. She sighed. This is financial abuse. We can use this against him in court. I exhaled. Good. Because I'm done playing nice. Mark had never imagined a world where I would leave him. He thought he was invincible. He thought I would always be there. So when he realized I wasn't coming back, he panicked. He was in debt. He had always handled the bills, his choice, not mine. And guess what? He had lied. Behind my back, he had maxed out our joint credit cards. He had taken out loans I didn't know about. He had gambled away money, literally. He had spent years creating a financial disaster, assuming that when things got rough, I would fix it. But I wasn't there anymore. And suddenly, Mark was drowning. One morning, Sarah called me sounding furious. "I just got an interesting email," she said. "From Mark's lawyer." I frowned. "What now?" "They claim you already signed divorce papers." I nearly dropped my phone. "Excuse me?" Sarah sighed. "They sent over copies of the documents. The problem? They're forged." My mouth went dry. "He forged my signature?" "Yes. And if we hadn't caught it, he would have used this to rush the process and screw you out of everything." I went cold. Because this wasn't just about him wanting a divorce. This was about control. Mark wanted to make sure I walked away with nothing. I had left him, humiliated him, taken his power away, and now he wanted to make me pay for it. I took a deep breath. "Can we fight this?" Sarah laughed. "Oh, Claire, we're going to destroy him." While Sarah worked on exposing the forgery, I dug into everything. If Mark wanted to play dirty, then fine. Let's play. And that's when I found the email. It was buried in one of our old shared accounts, one that Mark forgot to change the password on. It was from a woman. And the subject line? "I miss you. Are we ever going to tell her?" Oh. I clicked it, heart pounding. The message was short. "Mark, I can't keep doing this. I thought you said you were leaving her. Did you change your mind?" Attached? Photos. Mark. With her. On a weekend he told me he was on a work trip. My blood went cold. Mark had tried to destroy me. He had lied, manipulated, drained our accounts, forged my signature. But now I had something real. I wasn't the villain here. Mark was. And the best part? I hadn't even used my biggest weapon yet. Because while he was trying to ruin me, I had one last move that would end this game for good. I sat there staring at the email, my hands clenched into fists. All this time, Mark had been playing the victim. He had gone on a smear campaign, tried to ruin me financially, and even forged my signature to cut me out of everything. And all along, he had a mistress. I took a deep breath, willing myself to think. I had proof. Not just of his affair, but of fraud and financial abuse. And now, it was time to end this. Sarah, my lawyer, was ecstatic when I forwarded her the email. "This is perfect," she said. "We'll make sure this gets in front of the judge." But I wasn't done yet. Mark had spent weeks turning everyone against me. His family, our mutual friends, even my workplace. So I decided to return the favor. Every year, Mark's family threw a huge anniversary party for his parents. It was their biggest event. Over 50 people, family and friends, all gathered in one place. This year, Margaret was still weak from her stroke, so the party was held at Mark's house. The house I had left. And I decided I was going to show up. Uninvited. With evidence. Sarah advised against it. "Claire, we can win in court. I'm not just looking to win," I said. "I want them to see who he really is." I arrived right as dinner was being served. The second I walked in, the room fell silent. Mark's face drained of color. His mother, Margaret, clutched her pearls like I was the devil walking through the door. His sister, always the spokesperson, sneered. "Wow, look who finally showed up. Here to beg for forgiveness." I smiled. "No, I'm here to return something." I pulled out a stack of printed emails, the one from his mistress right on top. Then, I read it out loud. "Mark, I can't keep doing this. I thought you said you were leaving her. Did you change your mind?" Gasps rippled through the room. Mark lunged for me, but I stepped back, holding the papers up. "Sit down," I said, my voice sharp. And, for the first time in 18 years, Mark listened. His mother looked horrified. "Mark, what is she talking about?" I dropped the rest of the papers on the table. Bank statements. Loan records. His attempted forgery. "Your son," I said, turning to Margaret, "has been screwing another woman behind my back, draining our accounts, and forging my signature on fake divorce papers." The room exploded. Mark's aunt grabbed the papers and gasped. "These are real," Mark snapped. "Claire, you vindictive little," I laughed. "Oh, I'm vindictive? You tried to leave me with nothing." He pointed a shaking finger at me. "You left me. You abandoned your duty. You walked out on this family. That's when his own mother cut him off." "You did what?" Margaret hissed. Mark froze. His father, Bill, who had been silent this whole time, finally spoke. "You forged her signature?" His voice was deadly quiet. Mark swallowed hard. "Dad, listen." "No," Bill said. "You listen." He stood, his face red with anger. "You have humiliated this family. You let us believe Claire was some selfish woman, and all along it was you. You let her take the blame while you ran around like a damn child." Mark stammered, looking around for support. But he got none. Even his sister, his biggest defender, was staring at him in disgust. Wow, she muttered. I wasted my breath defending you. Margaret looked like she was about to be sick. You told me she was crazy, she whispered. Mark turned back to me, his face twisted with rage. You came here to ruin my life. I smiled coldly. No, Mark. You did that all on your own. Mark's family turned on him. His mother, his sister, even his father. His mistress dumped him. The moment she saw everything hit the fan, she ghosted him. The court sided with me. Sarah had everything proof of financial abuse, fraud, infidelity. Mark lost big time. I got the house. Since Mark had racked up so much debt, he couldn't afford to fight me for it. I sold it and used the money to start fresh. Mark? He spiraled. Without me to clean up his messes, he lost his job. His debts caught up to him. And one day, months after the dust had settled, I got a message from an unknown number. Mark, I get it now. I was wrong. Can we talk? I didn't reply. I blocked his number. I had already wasted 18 years on a man who only saw me as a resource. I wasn't going to waste another second. I walked away. And for the first time in my life, I was finally free.